いいのになってしまうの。じゃあこのエロじじい。じゃあ何を。ああ、耳元でギャグ孫よ。わあ、なんだ。気持ち悪いからベタベタすんなよ。あっち。
If you're watching this video on November 11th, it is officially Jiraiya's birthday, so happy B-Day to you and welcome back to BAM Collectibles, everybody. If there's one thing in the statue collecting hobby that's missing, it is 1v1 statues or battle scene statues, and today we'll be showcasing not a 1v1, but a 1v3 with Jiraiya versus multiple paths of pain. Flipping the base over, we will see Green Lotus's logo on the bottom left, which is the studio that made this, the silhouette of Jiraiya, Ma, Pa, and you'll see the edition size right there etched out. The scene itself was taken from the battle with Jiraiya versus the Paths of Pain, and we have multiple different pipes that are going to be coming in later, that I'm guessing those pipes in the village hidden in the rain were used to redirect all the water that's constantly flowing through there, but a really nice touch of the rock, the gravel, and I love that translucent blue resin of the water shooting out. Because there are multiple pipes and characters represented, that's why there's so many holes in here, because we're going to be attaching so many of those notches into the grooves to key them into the statue. In comes one of the smaller pipes. They're going to be installed into the back of the statue. Now these have a more realistic paint job to them. We have a little bit of rust that's going on there, some bronzing, but a very nice paint application, very different. You'll see this flat surface here with a magnet that's going to be used for one of the paths of pain to connect there. But the pipes they look incredible. They're just realistic looking. You can see there almost looked hollow as we get to this really large one. This is one of the backbone pieces on the statue. You'll see it's a giant pipe. This thing is huge. Nothing connects to this pipe directly, but it is, as I mentioned, the backbone of the statue because it is counterbalancing the weight of all the characters that will be stacking up as we build this statue. It's very important when you engineer a statue to be sure that it is created in a way that it doesn't fall over or tip over easy, because what the heck is the point of an expensive, high-quality collectible if the dang thing tips over and breaks, you know? This is my second collectible from Green Lotus Studio, and I have to say they continue to blow me away. My first statue being my 100K special with the Kurama with Naruto and Sasuke. That was absolutely incredible. So this one follows in its stead in being absolutely just as epic. A little bit different, you know, obviously there's not a giant Kurama and a bunch of LEDs that are going to be going on, but we'll see in this little piece here, it is some water that's going to be draining from a pipe as we'll connect this here, and it slides right into a slot right where the water is and gives a nice realistic feel to the statue. First up in the Paths of Pain is none other than the Preta Path, which is the one that creates that barrier that absorbs chakra and different jutsus. And in this statue, he's going to be doing something extremely epic, but in the end, he is getting beat up. We'll see the notch on his left foot, which will key into the statue. And really great details going on there. If we look at the pants themselves, though, the texturing, especially on the statue, it's a 1/6 scale statue. They did a great job with the texturing. One thing I'll point out is all the cloaks are more of a dark blue instead of the typical black that we see for characters. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's just to reflect the coloration of the rocks on the base, but that is what they went with. On this arm, you'll see a smoother surface and a notch coming out. That is extremely important. We'll talk about it more later, but Jiraiya attaches to the statue with that connecting point. And then over here, he will be using his barrier. I want to call it jutsu, but his barrier ability that we'll be attaching way later on because it is quite heavy. Head sculpts on all these are immaculate, perfect. Now, some of the other ones are going to be beat up and punched, but his is not, and it's great. We have his little tiny ponytail that sits in the back here that is sculpted separately. We'll connect that right here. Actually, I need to get a little bit of blue tack on there. This one's actually white colored, but we need the tacky substance that allows it to create a barrier and it gets it to sit in there more firmly and it's stable. If you have never checked it out, I do have links in the description that lead to an Amazon store that I created for my go-to items as a collector. Now, these are the spots we'll be connecting. We'll see that there, and there's that magnet on the pipe. So that's what's going to attach him securely onto the base. Up next is the first version of the animal path that was showcased in the fight versus Jiraiya. And remember, that does change later on the show, but my man is getting smacked in this statue. Just like the Preta Path, you'll find the notch on this foot and the magnet on the other. I'm not going to go over too many details as far as the body goes because it's the same texturing, same type of outfit. And then we see on the back there, the red cloud, it sticks out a little bit. I imagine it being flush with there, but I think it's embossed or whatever they call it, where it's sitting on there like a giant patch almost. But man, is he getting smacked in this statue. It is smoother along his face because Jiraiya's textured outfit will be resting up against it. And in order for them to not clash or scratch with one another, they make that smoother surface. This joint right here in his shoulder is extremely important. Jiraiya will mount to that later, and his ponytail was sculpted separately. You'll see more of that white tack or blue tack type substance in there, and I'll get this connected. Other than the Deva Path of Pain or the main looking pain with Yahiko's body, I'd like to know in the comments below, what is your favorite Path of Pain that you enjoyed most? I've always loved summoning jutsus in this show, so I'd have to say the animal path is my personal one. After we have that path in, we'll go ahead and bring out the human path, which was sculpted from a different angle, and he again is getting bashed in the face. This is taken exactly from the scene in the show. Where Jiraiya drop kicked him in the face. That hole there is where a notch on Jiraiya will later connect to. As per the other ones, we have a notch on the foot, a magnet on the other. Texturing on the outfit looks incredible. And then when we swing this around back to the hair, we'll see the colorations that they use for this is great. Just a little bit of texturing, not too much. The paths themselves always reminded me of Naruto's outfit with the contrasting black and orange. It always looks so good on them. I know this looks a little morbid from this angle, but later on, once Jiraiya is connected, it's going to be covered up and fits perfectly together. In every video, I always get asked, where do I get my statues from? This one was another one picked up from GAC. I'm not sure if they have any more in stock, but if you're looking to get some other statues, please be sure to use this code mentioned in the comments, BAM Collectibles 30, for $30 SGD off of your order. There used to be 60 codes available a few days. I'm not sure how many are going to be left, but use those while you can to get something awesome and nice for yourself if you're in the market for a statue. You can already tell by taking a step back, this is going to be an incredible scene once it's brought together. Let's go ahead and take a look at Jiraiya. Incredibly enough, he was sculpted as one giant character. Just like the Paths of Pain, you'll find some awesome texturing all throughout. We have the area there around his calf that was sculpted nicely. Here's one of those notches that we'll be attaching to one of the paths later, and that smoother section so they don't rub up against each other. The vest looks incredible. I love the gold oval looking circles on there. And man, how they sculpted Ma and Pa. Again, they added some texturing to their little cloaks that they wear as well. His scroll was extremely well done with all these, what looks to be hand-painted designs on there. Here's that groove that will be connecting to the Preta Path. I know before I said he was sculpted as one piece, but his hair, or at least the back of his hair, was sculpted separately because it's so long. So I am glad they did that. We'll go over that shortly. But again, Ma and Pa look great. Probably the only thing on the statue that looks a little off might be Jiraiya's face, but it's hard to tell because when he's in Sage mode, the dude gets pretty ugly looking. So I guess it accurately resembles it, and it looks good from 3-4 feet away, which you'll be typically viewing a statue from. In his hand, he has a groove and a hole there. We'll be attaching a Rasengan in there. Again, the connecting points are the Preta Path's arm, the human path's face, and the animal path's shoulder. I'll take this ponytail out to be sure it doesn't fall out. Sadly, something tragic happened while I tried to connect all of this. Let me get an F in the chat for the finger of the animal path. It's unfortunate, but this is how fragile resins can be sometimes. I will fix it in the remainder part of the video, and also I'll show you what it looks like close up. That was actually really hard to find because my carpet downstairs is more of a tanner color, and so it blended in super well. Thankfully, the fingernails on there, or I might not have saw it, but tragic, unfortunate. We'll fix it, and I'll show you what that looks like. Yo, seriously, I love this Rasengan. It reminds me of the one that was sculpted for Ryu Studios' Naruto, but I love how you can see all the spinning that's going on in there. And those, what looks to be like scratches, are made inside, so I'm not sure how they casted this or how they went about it, but it's incredible. You'll see a notch there and sort of a plastic or resin stick coming out. That's what's going to be going into the arm of Jiraiya. I waited so long to show you this effect piece because it is heavy and one of the last things that should go on to make sure that the balancing of the statue is in place, but really cool how this is like a partial orb that's hollow inside, and the way that it connects is a notch you'll see in the center, and also there's a strong magnet that connects to that hand. These are the kind of pieces that do freak me out when I see them, and they're gonna have to ship during the process because I'm scared they are gonna break. But this is not fragile, it's just the right thickness to where it's not too heavy, but it's not too susceptible to breakages. One of the last pieces we'll be showcasing in the statue is Jiraiya's hair. That thing is always so ridiculously long and spiky, so again, great that they sculpted it separately. On the very opposite end of it, you'll see a notch groove. It'll have a giant magnet inside, just like the Preta Path's ability, and that's what connects to the back of Jiraiya's hair and completes him. Stay tuned as well. We'll be showcasing him against some of my 1/8 scale IM Studio Paths of Pain. And here you have it with just a little dab of super glue on a toothpick. I don't apply it directly to it. I was able to reconnect that finger. You'll see a little crack. It's okay. This stuff happens. Huh? What do you think, huh? It's not too often that we see versus statues where all the characters are nicely represented in here, and Green Lotus Studio did such a great job at doing so. We'll bring in, like I said, my IM Studios. This is the first 2 of the Paths of Pain that they'll be doing. I'll eventually be showcasing all the Paths of Pain on the channel, but I'll do a link here if you want to check out an unboxing for these. They're really incredible. I'm super excited for how they will all be connecting together. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for the support that you're showing to the channel. We are seeing some awesome growth, and I'm so happy to share in this journey with you of showcasing collectibles, reliving the memories for these awesome characters. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and as always, everybody, do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.